then incorporate that information into the consumer's credit card file, including bankruptcy notices, powers of attorney, notice of cancellation of auto pay, proof of payments, and letters from debt settlement companies. The bottom line is J.P. Morgan says, screw the customers. We're going to rip them off, period. Chase Bank executives mass executed thousands of affidavits in support of Chase Bank collection efforts, and those Chase Bank executives did not have personal knowledge of the facts set forth in the affidavits. Let me explain what this is. The law says that when they're trying to collect a debt, somebody has to personally sign an affidavit attesting to these facts. These are done by computer. The affidavits are printed. The signatures are computer generated. Nobody is doing legally what they are required to do under the law. Screw the customers. And there's a whole bunch of other ones as well. This is just one whistleblower who's coming forth and showing you how credit card companies and banks are being allowed to screw you. The government is allowing them to do it because the banks control the government. They're one of the controlling entities. WikiLeaks, by the way, in the next probably 2 to 4 weeks, is going to be releasing documents showing how bank executives are the criminals of the century. And the documents will prove how the bankers bribe and pay off the politicians and virtually control government policy. It's coming. You're not going to hear a lot of it in the news. You will hear about it on this radio show. Absolutely. All right, here's another article that's going to go up. Some of you are traveling this holiday season. This was on AOL, deep in their website. You'll never see it on television. AOL investigation. No proof TSA scanners are safe. If you believe the government, you have little to worry about. From the radiation beam flirting all over the front and back of your body at the airport, scanners. The TSA says that when working properly, the body scanners are virtually harmless. 2 questions were presented to the TSA. Number 1, where is the evidence that the units are working properly? What is the definition? Their answer was, we don't know if they're working properly. We don't know when they're working properly. And we have no way to test whether they're working properly. That's number 1. Number 2, you say that when a person stands in front of these body scanners, it's harmless. Where is the research proving that it's harmless? The answer is there is no research proving it's harmless. So they went to the TSA executive. Well, why don't we do a little test? Why don't you stand in the body scanner for, let's say, 6 hours? Just sit down. Sit there for 6 hours. And then let's run some blood tests before and after and see how it had affected you. No TSA executive would even consider such a request. Folks, they know it's deadly. It causes DNA damage. If you're traveling this weekend, you have the legal right to opt out. It's simple. It's harmless. I go through the airport. Almost invariably, I'm pulled out to go through the body scanner. I'm very polite. I'm very nice. And most of the TSA people are professional and polite. I get pulled out and I say, I would respectfully like to opt out of the body scanner, please. I'm very nice. Sometimes I just say, I choose to opt out. Okay. They pull you aside. Actually, they don't pull you. They say, please walk this way, sir. We're going to have to do a pat down. And I tell them very nicely, I know you're just doing your job, but please, I'm not allowing you to sexually harass me or sexually assault me. I'm not giving you the right to do that. But if you want to pat me down, fine. Pat down my legs, that's fine. The reason I say that is because I don't need to cause a hassle. Many of the purists say we should not have the government patting us down because it's simply making us get used to government suppression. And you are 100% correct. But even Jesus said, pay unto Caesar what is Caesar's. Right now, if the law or if the TSA has said, if you don't do this, we're going to arrest you. If you don't do this, you can't get on the plane. Hey, I don't need the hassle. If I really cared, I would take my private plane. But I don't need to spend that much extra money when I can fly commercial and I'm not in a rush. But I would encourage you 100% opt out of the body scanner. They do cause permanent DNA damage. And if you travel a lot, you're getting screwed. And it's not going to happen in 3 months. It's going to happen in 10 years. Even if you go in a body scanner 10 times this year and never again, you're screwed. It's going to show up 10 or 15 years from now in major medical problems. End of story, period. Just like if you get Botox or if you get a boob job. You're going to have medical problems down the road, period, end of story. Don't complain about it. Just know, hey, I choose to have medical problems because I want the boob job or I want the, collagen implants in my cheeks or I want Botox. If that's what you want, hey, you have the right to do it. But know that if you make that decision, you've also made the decision to have medical problems. If you make the decision, I don't want the hassle at the airport, I'm going to go through the body scanner, that's your choice, but you're also making the decision that says, and I know that I'm going to have health problems 10 or 15 years down the road, whether it's cancer, tumors, MS, insomnia, arthritis, a suppressed immune system, so I'll be getting sick all the time, headaches, whatever. Just know that that's the decision you're making. Article, Federal Agents Misbehaving in 2010. Stephen Campbell, an agent for the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosive, was a gentleman. And by the way, there are hundreds and hundreds of these examples. Here's just a few of them. So this agent of the Bureau of Tobacco, Alcohol, and Firearms had a little bit of a problem. He was one of the agents involved in a drug raid in Cleveland. He was stuffing his pants full of cash. When other agents came up to him, he said, "You can't touch me. You don't have a search warrant." Hey, if you want to wonder, if you ever wonder, are policemen corrupt? And some of you are policemen listening, and you think, I'm not corrupt. Look, I have relatives who are cops. I have friends who are cops. Most of you are corrupt. I mean, let's call it what it is. To some degree, some of you don't even think it's corrupt. But if any of you wonder if police are corrupt, you have to watch the movie. And Brandy, is this one of our movies? Serpico. Serpico, right? Serpico is the true story, and there's a great book. You can read the book. It's even better than the movie. I think it was Al Pacino. Serpico is the true story of a cop in New York who was a honest cop. And he discovered that 90% of all the policemen in New York, all the way up to the captains and the commissioner himself, were all on the take. They were all accepting graft. They were all accepting bribes and payoffs. 90% of the police officers in New York City. Later, there was a movie called American Gangster, which talked about and showed how all the narcotics guys were on the take. Folks, corruption is rampant in police. And not just in America. It's rampant all around the world, probably even more blatantly than that. Here's another example. Dallas FBI agent. Now, FBI, this is a Fed guy. FBI agent Carlos Ortiz let his temper get the best of him. He pleaded guilty to charges that he plotted to kill his wife. God. It's unbelievable. Ortiz first committed domestic violence against his wife. Then he called a friend about buying a sniper rifle and talked about killing his wife and his boss, another, the FBI guy. He pled guilty. This is an FBI guy. domestic violence and ready to kill his wife and his FBI boss. Interesting. FBI agents also pled guilty because they were arrested for taking illegal steroids. So here we have a bunch of FBI guys taking illegal drugs, steroids. Pled guilty. Another one, this is great. Another FBI agent pled guilty for hiring illegal immigrants knowingly. Hey, there's 30 million of them in the country. Here's an FBI person hiring illegal immigrants so they don't have to pay unemployment taxes. They can pay them under the table. He had a deli. He had a deli that he owned, so he hired these illegal immigrants under the table. This guy's an FBI guy. Ugh. Here's another one. Another FBI agent. These are FBI guys, not local yokel cops, not the fat slobs who run the local. And why is it that policemen are all fat? Can somebody explain that to me? Policemen are all fat and they can't run, they can't walk up a flight of stairs, but I go, they're a policeman. How come there's no standards? Donuts. Yeah, that's the answer. Seriously, if I was mayor, I'd say, hey, coppers. Okay, here's the deal. You got 1 year. Otherwise, you're fired. You have to do 100 push-ups. You have to run a certain amount of minutes in a mile. Have to do a certain number of pull-ups. And and here's your weight for every single person. And if you're not physically fit, that means you can't do the job, which is run and chase criminals. You're fired. I'd whip them into shape, baby. General Patton. So this FBI agent also was found guilty. He had a little side business, this FBI agent. His side business was selling guns illegally. Just to make a little extra money, for the groceries. There's another guy, Drug Enforcement Agency, the DEA, a DEA agent. He's one of these child porn lovers. So he has on his laptop computer hundreds of thousands of child pornographic images. Of course, against the law, and it should be. He knows what the law is, going to jail. The list goes on and on and on. I just can't. What this shows you is, look, we're all human beings. We all make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. I understand that. But the media tries to present government as being honest and doing what's best for the American citizen. It's just categorically not true. It's just categorically not true. No way, Jose. Not the case. Government is not going to solve your problems, folks. Government is your problem. But there is a solution. The solution is, number one, get your thinking right, so you can create your own bubble of protection. So get your thinking right by listening to audios every day, reading books every day, going to as many functions and meetings and seminars as you can where you're around positive, enthusiastic, like-minded people. Build relationships with like-minded people. This is the system. Listen to Your Wish is Your Command, the CD series. Your Wish is Your Command. Be an affiliate. It's free. In the Global Information Network, you have access to, next year is going to be hundreds of hours of training free of charge, plus meetings all over the world, free. Become a member and get access to all the secret training that's available to members only, and all the seminars and workshops are available to members only. Do something. Read the book, Ask and It Is Given. The Magic of Thinking Big. The Go-Getter. The New Psycho-Cybernetics. How to Win Friends and Influence People. How to Have Power and Confidence in Dealing with People. How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success Through Selling. Read books. Listen to audios. Attend seminars. Develop relationships. When you go to the polls, just don't vote for a Democrat and don't vote for a Republican. That's it. And lastly, when you go buy things, as best you can, stay away from buying things from multinational corporations. Smile and laugh throughout the day. Focus on your dreams and believe in your dream. And most importantly, don't ever let anyone steal your dream. Have a wonderful night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.